I hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then just welcome. Feel free to subscribe. I post videos Monday through Friday. As you guys can tell, I'm feeling a whole lot better than my previous video. If you guys clicked on this video, then maybe you guys have some interest in lupus and what it is. I just filmed a day in the life of me having a lupus flare towards the end of one. And so if you guys are interested in lupus, then I'd highly recommend checking out my last video. Today I'm doing an exciting video. I'm doing a Q&A on lupus because I haven't touched base too much on the topic, and it is something that is such a huge part of my life. And I know that I have so many people out there that have lupus and have been reaching out to me, asking me so many questions, and either they can relate or they know somebody that has lupus. And so I wanted to make this video today because I want to spread awareness about lupus. I want to bring you guys into my life a little bit more, and I want to help others cope. It is so hot today, so excuse me if you guys see me sweating a little bit over here. I've gotten some great questions so far from you guys, and I want to thank you so much for communicating with me and just giving me your questions, because they do help me out so much. The first question is, do I currently have a lupus flare going on? The answer is, I would say no, but lately my lupus is lingering, and so it pretty much feels like it's always on the back burner, and I'm not 100% feeling normal. And for me, that means that any little thing can trigger my lupus to just really go full blown into a flare. And things that have been triggering me lately is the heat, not so much the feeling of it being on my skin, but it affects my ability to breathe if I'm indoors and it's really hot. It's hard for me to take deep breaths and things like that, and so the heat is a major factor. Stress is also a huge thing for me, and what stresses out my body is basically doing so much at one time. And I've always been this way. I've always wanted to accomplish as much as I can in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, and I think I just push myself a little bit too hard, whether that be, you know, I've taken breaks from YouTube, but now I'm trying to be full blown, you know, back into it. And so I'm posting Monday through Friday. I'm doing 5 videos, and that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy, and it also takes a lot of exposure for me. And what that means is I'm sitting in front of a camera. I'm sitting in front of a computer. I am on my phone. I'm checking things. And so that type of lighting is actually very harmful for me. A lot of people don't realize that it is actually very hurtful for your body to sit in front of a computer and expose yourself to these artificial lighting, and those really trigger my lupus. And even though I do take precautions like putting on sunscreen or taking in a leave before I sit down and I edit, I mean, sometimes it just hits me like no other. I'm not sure if that answer was clear enough for you, so the answer is yes and no. I'm not currently in a full-blown lupus flare, but I feel some things, you know, on the back burner still. And you guys, if you don't know what a lupus flare is, it means that my entire lupus is active and I'm not really in remission. People with lupus, they tend to have breaks. That means breaks in between a lupus flare, which is remission. And for me, I feel like lupus is just, it's kind of, you know, treading along very slowly, and it's just pretty constant right now for me, unfortunately. So I'm not feeling a huge improvement with any type of remission. Next question, when was the last time I was in the hospital for lupus? Honestly, it's been a few months, actually more than a few months. It was probably before Christmas of last year. And the reason is I probably could have gone to the hospital a lot more, and I probably should have gone in the hospital, you know, recently, but I have been so put off by hospitals and everything, and it's not just because of COVID-19 and everything going on there. It's because the last time I was in the hospital, and it wasn't for myself, it was when my mother passed away, and I'm human and I hold on to thoughts and I feel things, and I'm strictly being stubborn, and I'm avoiding the hospital because I don't want to deal with certain emotions right now. But I have to tell you that not long ago, maybe a couple months ago, I did have to call 911 to come to my house because I was having heart trouble. It was scary. It's not something that I wanted to do because I was with my children, and I don't want to frighten them in any way, but I do have conversations with them, and I let them know, you know, sometimes mommy needs some help and the doctors are here to help. They came to the house and they hooked me up to a heart monitor and waited for me to kind of normalize. My heart palpitations were super high, up to maybe 175, 180, and if you don't know, that's just not good for your heart to be in that condition for a long period of time, because your heart can stop. And with lupus, when you are flaring up and you're inflamed, the tissues around your heart become inflamed, and so things can happen. And so I felt the need to call 911. I know my body, and I am very in tune with every feeling in my body because of lupus. And I mean, I've grown up going to the hospitals, going to doctors in and out, so I know. I mean, I was joking around the other day that honestly I could be a doctor on the side, just because I'm so good at diagnosing people and diagnosing myself. So I don't know. I know when it's necessary for me to go to the hospital. Like with this last flare-up, I did not go to the hospital, but I felt the need to reach out to my doctor and let them know I need blood work done. Please, can you check and see if any of my organs are being targeted this time? Can you check on my kidneys, my heart, and everything there? And so that is something that we're in the process of. Next question. Is there a medication that helps ease the symptoms of lupus? Absolutely. They have one medication that they typically subscribe to patients with lupus, and that is called hydroxychloroquine, also known as Plaquenil, and you've probably heard it recently. This is the same drug that the president and everybody's trying to put out there to be a possible treatment vaccine for COVID-19. And this is the same medication that was used to treat malaria, and this is the same medication that I took for about 4 years straight. I took them while I was pregnant, 100% safe, while I was pregnant with my children. I didn't have too bad of symptoms with them, which was really nice. You take the medication and it takes up to 6 months for the medication to actually kick in and start working. And what this medication does is it allows you to have a longer period of remission times when you have lupus. It does not treat lupus itself, so it gives you a fighting chance. It lowers your immune system, almost stops your immune system, so you don't have an immune system that will attack your body. And so I remember after taking lupus medicine for a long time that I'd get my blood work checked and I would have just no immune system, and that was just crazy to me. It would be like negative certain cells in my body, and I was like, oh crap. So that was something that kind of spooked me about the medicine, and the reason I stopped the medicine is because I started having stomach bleeding and coughing up blood, and I was told to stop the medicine so my stomach could heal. And I realized that after a certain period of time that my body was just getting used to the medicine, and so it wasn't fully working as well as it should, meaning I was having constant lupus flares, and I was like, what's the point of taking medicine if I'm still gonna be having these lupus flares constantly? And so I made a decision with the doctor that I had previously had, and I wanted my stomach to heal, and I wanted to take a break from the medicine. The doctor also recommended that I up my dosages of the current medication that I was taking, and in my mindset, I mean, I was like, hell no, not doing that. I'm not upping my dosages. I know what you doctors are trying to do. You know, I understand how you guys make money, and I've learned about how a lot of doctors are trained, I guess, you know, in their field. And so I've always been a big no-no. I'm not gonna take medicine unless I absolutely have to. And I know a lot of you guys are probably screaming, girl, you have to take your medicine now, look at you. But I am just, I mean, I'm stubborn, and I'll be the first one to admit I'm absolutely stubborn, but I have my ways of being stubborn. I grew up and I saw my mom, I mean, popping pills every single day, you know. She had MS, epilepsy, she had a stroke, she had so many things medically wrong with her, and every time that she had something wrong with her, it was like, here you go, here's, you know, here's 5 pills, here's 10 pills, and she was just taking so many a day. And I grew up with this mindset. If you guys don't know my story, go and check out my story on my YouTube channel, because you guys will understand why I have this mindset. But my motto was growing up to be, I mean, people would ask me, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'd say anything but my mom or dad, you know, and that was it. And so I've always had that mindset. And I think to myself, whenever a major decision in my life came to me, I'd be like, what decision would my mom make? What decision would my dad make? And if I felt they made a certain decision, I would do the opposite. And I'm not trying to tell you guys, do not take your lupus medicine, don't do that, don't do this. This is me personally. I highly recommend you doing what's comfortable with your body. You know your body better than anybody else, but I just know from my personal experience and from certain research that I've done, and just growing up around doctors and hospitals and things, and I have no issues with, you know, doctors and their knowledge or anything like that. I totally respect them. I go to them and they're like my second home. They're like my family pretty much now. But I'm telling you that I'm not a medical expert, and I cannot sit here and tell you guys what treatment and what to do, but I can tell you that there is no cure for lupus. And the way that things are set up now is that they only treat your symptoms. So that means if you're getting headaches, they want you to take, you know, pain relief. If you're getting a rash on you somewhere, they'll prescribe you some medicine for your rash. If you're getting stomach pain, well, they'll prescribe you medicine for that. If you're constipated because of a medicine, they'll give you another medicine to help you with constipation. You know, it's like this non-stop wheel going around, and it's like they'll treat you for all these symptoms, and then before you know it, you're taking 50 pills for different things, and all of a sudden your stomach's eaten up from all these pills, because it does damage your stomach when you do take these pills. And the way I think, I mean, I'm a constantly overthinker anyway, so, and I'm always seeking to do things the right way. And just because it's my way doesn't make it the right way, but I'm weird and I'm like OCD, and I mean, my childhood, the way I brought up, that's why I am the way I am. But if I don't feel like something is the right way, I'm not gonna do it. And for me, the right way to deal with lupus right now is to figure out how did I get lupus in the first place? What the hell causes lupus? You know, what can I do to fix it, to relieve these symptoms without popping a pill, you know? And so I think I've found some great things that are absolutely helping. But when I have a lupus flare, it's, you know, it's a thing that puts me in check and says, girl, you gotta work harder, you gotta figure out what is going on. And I know I'm taking forever to answer this question, but I can talk for so long about this, and I'm really hopeful because I did come across a possible solution to figuring out how to officially make lupus disappear. And it's a system that came out by a credible doctor, and they came out with almost a lupus treatment, and entirely it makes sense. The next question, what caused you to seek medical care that ultimately led you to get a diagnosis of lupus? A great question. And so the thing is that there were so many things. I have to start back when I was younger and put into a foster home. I went and I had to get these mandatory physicals. I mean, if somebody was gonna be a ward of the court for me and in charge of me, and they had to get their guardianship to have me, I had to go through all these physicals. I had to be vaccinated. I had to be doing all these sorts of things. And so I remember during a certain checkup, and I actually have all my medical records because that's how much research I've done. I went back to when I was 6, 7 years old, and I went to every single doctor that I had gone to, and I got my medical records. If you guys see my book, it's about this thick because I saved every medical record, lab result, everything I ever gotten. And so anyways, I went back, and come to find out I had a heart murmur back then when I was a little kid. And they say, you know, you grow out of that, blah, 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 and that's fine. And then I went back through records, and I had skin rashes, you know, on my back. And and these were all things as soon as I got taken out of a foster home. I had skin rashes, I was malnourished, it just wasn't good. And so I got older, I was 14 years old, and I remember this. I'm brushing my hair, I got a brush right here, I'll just show you what I was doing. Sitting on the bed like this, just brushing my hair, and all of a sudden, my heart starts beating to the point where it's like, you could see it through my shirt. And I'm at home, my great aunt raised me, and so I'm like trying to breathe. I'm down on my knees, collapse, and I start crawling down the hallway. And that's when she sees me, and she calls 911. I go to the hospital, I get set up to all the heart stuff. I get referred to a specialist, get put on another heart monitor, and they think that I might have WPW. Well, just go look that up, but my dad had it when he was younger, a heart condition. And so that was the start of it. And so I spent years growing up. I was like, all right, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna eat right. I gotta start really taking care of myself as a young adult. And growing up as a young girl, early teens, I was bulimic. I had totally destroyed my stomach. Keep this in mind. I totally destroyed my stomach. I got to be an adult, and I decided to learn the real reasons, you know, learn how to take care of my body to get to the point of, I guess, physical attraction of where I wanted to be, so I didn't have to harm myself anymore in order to be fit and to look the way I wanted to look. Why is this important, you know, why is this important to lupus? Why is this, you know, linked to lupus? I'm gonna tell you, because recently I learned lupus is, certainly they think that it's caused from an ulcer, a lesion, or something in your stomach. And then bacteria, the food, whatever, leaks through these holes in your intestines and gets into your bloodstream. And so your immune system thinks that it's a virus, and then it starts attacking this stuff that's in your bloodstream. But guess what? While it's trying to attack the bacteria and the foreign things that are in your bloodstream, it's gonna attack your tissues. It's gonna attack the surrounding organs and everything around it, and bam, there's lupus. You get diagnosed with lupus. And it's actually not that simple, but bam, you have lupus, you just don't know you have it yet. Your doctors don't know you have it yet. And so that's why it's important, and why it makes sense to me, why I shouldn't take lupus medicine right now. Because I'm learning about, you know, lupus and how it's caused. You know, I grew up malnourished. I got taken out of a foster home. I ate a lot of shitty foods. My stomach was screwed up. I was bulimic, constantly throwing up, and so those made ulcers and stuff in my stomach. So absolutely, I was more susceptible to that kind of stuff. My mom had MS, so I'm most likely to get an autoimmune disease too. And so, to the point of what made me go get diagnosed for lupus. Young adult, move 6 hours, 7 hours away from my hometown, wanting to start a brand new life. Guess what? I moved back to the same place I initially moved to because this place is awesome and sunny. But I started having the weird heart things again. And then I noticed I'd go out a certain kind of day and it would be, it's almost like, think about you wake up, you're going early to the beach. What's that weather like? It's kind of overcast. It's kind of a light, cool breeze. You definitely need to wear a sweatshirt. And that's what I found out triggers my lupus. Some people get triggered by the sun shining on them. Nope, I get triggered by the cold wind and overcast weather. And I went and I contacted a heart doctor. I made an appointment. I got into this heart doctor, and all of this was purely by luck, because you cannot see a heart doctor unless you have another doctor refer you to a heart doctor, aka a cardiologist. And I got an appointment with a heart doctor without a referral. And so I came to the appointment and they're like, I'm not sure how you got here, but I guess we'll see you. And so this doctor sees me. I tell him about my heart palpitations. I tell him how I'm just physically exhausted from doing nothing. I mean, I was short of breath and I was just sitting on my bed. I wasn't doing anything. And so he's like, all right, let me run some blood tests. You know, they gotta check for heart attacks, everything related to the heart. He's like, I'm just gonna check you out. You're here, you sound, you know, interesting. You know, I gotta do that. So I'm like, all right, cool, see you later. See you at the follow-up appointment. I come back to the follow-up appointment and he's like, so this happened. So I did not mean for you to get this lab work tested, but I accidentally did, and it came back positive. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So it's still extremely hot. And the lab work that he tested me with is called ANA. And it came back positive, and it had a very high titter, and it was speckled. If you don't know what that means, I'm sure it sounds very funny to you guys, but it's something lupus related. You guys can go ahead and Google it and do your research. I did that. I mean, that's how I learned all about it. But then he said, you need to have your doctor refer you to a rheumatologist because this is their specialty. So my grandma was diagnosed with a very rare liver condition. So she already had a rheumatologist because what she was diagnosed with was an autoimmune disease as well. So I called her up, you know, she was my best friend, and she was like, all right, Nicole, I'll make you an appointment. You're gonna go see my rheumatologist. And so I drive up 6-7 hours, drive up there, go to Stanford, and I meet this doctor. I go in with my grandma and my great aunt, and she looks at me. She looks at my rashes, she sees my symptoms, and she's like, you have lupus. Diagnosed me within 3 minutes and was like, yeah, you have systemic lupus. There's different kinds of lupus, the kind that attacks just your kidneys, the kind that attacks your skin, and then the kind that attacks every single organ in your body. Guess which one I have? Yep. The kind that attacks every single organ in your body. So I mean, my reaction was kind of sick actually. I started laughing, but it was kind of out of, I don't know if it was nervousness or what, but I was laughing, I think, because I was just like, of course this would happen to me. I was in my 20s, and if you guys, again, if you don't know my story, go and check out my story, but I was like, of course, you know, something else to add to my plate in life. You know, life is really testing me. Why not throw, you know, life-threatening disease, you know, my way? So I was diagnosed with lupus that way, and that was the long version of me answering that question, so I apologize. Next question, how hard is it to live with lupus? I'd say it's harder now that I have children, and it's not because I have to constantly be doing things, and it has nothing to do with that. Before I had children, you know, I accepted the fact that my life could end tomorrow, and I'd be totally fine with that. you know? And I accepted that. I wasn't scared of death. I had a near-death experience where I actually almost died, and I felt very comfortable after that. That actually made me not scared of dying anymore because of the feeling that I got when that happened. And so I was comfortable. I was, you know, this is something, you know, whatever fate brings me, that's meant to happen. I'm not scared, and this and that. And then now I have children. Now that's my biggest fear. I don't constantly think about lupus and what it's doing to me, and I think the hardest part is, you know, thinking about leaving, going somewhere, not being around anymore, and my children left with so many questions, and I don't want that for them. And that's a major part why I have this YouTube channel, why I'm doing this, why I'm writing my book, because I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, and I don't know what the outcome of things are going to be, but I need to leave something behind for my children, and that's why I'm constantly thanking you guys for the support, because this channel isn't just meant for helping other people. I mean, that's entirely a major reason why I want to do YouTube and want to help others get through tough times. But there's a huge part of it for me and for my heart. It's for my kids, you know. It's for guidance. It's for something they can look back on and be like, you know, Mom got through this, so I can get through this. God forbid something happens to me. Aside from that being difficult, something that is hard for me in a sense that it just frustrates the hell out of me. You guys can probably tell when I'm not having a lupus flare as bad and stuff. I mean, I have more energy, I have more personality, I'm up, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to get stuff done, I'm ready to just be happy and live my life. When lupus just comes around, I feel like someone is grabbing my shoulders and trying to push me back when I'm trying to walk somewhere. It's very frustrating, and I find myself getting more frustrated now that I have a family to take care of, because I want to be the very best for them. You know, growing up, I wanted to be the best version of myself for me. And I mean, obviously I'm still not there yet. I have a lot of work to do, but I want to be the best version for my children now. I want to be the best for my family. There's so much more that I can do to be a better wife, a better mom, and a better sister, everything. There's so many things that I want to say wish I could do, but I know that I'm gonna figure this all out one day, and I'm going to do these things. And that's what kills me, is because I have a heart of gold, not to toot my own horn, but I have a heart of gold. It could be a great thing, it could be a bad thing. For me, it's just, I mean, it's who I am. My heart of gold is who I am. I want to make sure that the people I care about are taken care of. I want to make sure that they get the best, and it kills me when I can barely move and I can't talk and I can't do things, because they deserve better. And that's one of my insecurity. Next question, how do I deal with the hair loss? So if you guys, I haven't posted again tons on my YouTube channel, but I have posted a lot on my Instagram about lupus and stuff that happens. And I have posted before me going like this, chunks of hair falling out, and I used to have actually patches and stuff coming out of my hair. But how do I deal with hair loss? When it first started happening, it was just another thing added to the checklist. Added to the sores in my mouth, me coughing up blood, me not being able to be as productive, me not being able to breathe, and you know, my fingers like being stiff and just in pain, and the rashes, and it was just another thing for me. And it was very frustrating because I try hard to be a female, and I know that sounds weird, but this sucks. Like, I have to work hard to feel pretty about myself. And you know, all of my teeth, all silver. They're all silver. I've always been self-conscious about that. my skin has been just super dry and I get scars and stuff on my skin because of inflammation. My eyes are terrible. They're getting worse. A side effect from taking the lupus medicine is that it can cause permanent blindness. So my eyes are terrible, and then my hair starts falling out. I cannot grow my nails for the life of me. They're brittle. My fingers bleed. I mean, lupus totally tears you up and tears you down to the point where you don't even feel like a human, you know? You don't even feel like you're a female anymore, and it makes it very difficult. But I have to say that if you go through life picking at all those bad things and seeing those as bad things, that, I mean, you're gonna let lupus win. You're gonna let it win. And that's just not where I want to be. Nobody wins. I win. Like, it's my body. I get to win. And so I am not gonna give two shits about my nails, because guess what? I can go get fake ones. And as long as I'm not walking around with my mouth open all day, you guys can't tell that I have silver teeth. And so I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but it takes some adjusting and some acceptance. Like, every single day I wake up with my eyes very puffy. You guys can see if I go like this, see? It's all about angles. But if I go like this, I have puffs under my eyes. But it's all about finding solutions to things that don't make you happy. Not every female cares about long, thick hair. Not every female cares about, you know, things that you care about. So if you accept the, I guess, negative things that are happening to you, something that you might see as flaws, just accept what it is and do what you can to make yourself feel better. I'm not saying that just because you can't grow your nails out, you have to go get fake nails. That you have to go get something, you know, to fix them, because there's nothing wrong with these. It's just, if I was really upset to the point where I was that self-conscious about it, absolutely I'd go and get my nails done. Do whatever it takes to make you feel good. So the falling out hair question, I mean, I found solutions that help my hair, help make me feel better. I went and I got Ovation Cell Hair Therapy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think it's in the wrong order, but I'll just blame it on the lupus being dyslexic. I don't know. You guys, it was probably just me. So find solutions. I found thickening, hair conditioner, stuff like that. I'll leave stuff down below if you guys are really curious about that. Whew, it's hot in here. Is it hot where you guys are? Comment down below how hot it is in your town today. Unfortunately, my camera is gonna die. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. So that means I have to end this video. I have to talk really fast. And so if you guys want a part 2 to answering your lupus questions, go ahead and like this video for love and share it and comment down below. You guys, I appreciate you guys. And just remember, guys, if you're going through something tough, if I can get through it, you can certainly get through it. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll talk to all of you guys soon. Bye.
All my life was a fight. Tell me what's wrong when nothing's ever been right. I was abandoned, alone in the night. There was no darkness cause I'd never seen light. Put the past behind me. If I do fall, I'm gonna get up, defy these odds. I won't give up cause I'm too strong. I said I won't give up cause I'm too strong. Nah.